Hello students, in today's session we shall study about the factors affecting solubility of solute in a solvent. There are three main factors affecting the solubility. The first one is nature of the solute and solvent, the second is temperature, and the third one is pressure. Let us understand the nature of solute and solvent. How does this affect the solubility? It is observed that substances possessing generally similar chemical properties readily mix with each other. This brings us the saying that like dissolves like. That means polar solutes dissolve readily in polar solvents, while the non-polar solutes dissolve readily in non-polar solvents. And hence, sodium chloride, which is a polar solute, dissolves readily in water, while cholesterol, which is a non-polar solute, will dissolve readily in benzene, which is a non-polar solvent. Let us understand the dissolution of sodium chloride in water. Here you can see the sodium ions and the chloride ions are represented by the blue color and the green colored balls respectively. Now there exists an ion dipole kind of interaction between the positively charged sodium ions and the negatively charged oxygen end of the water molecule. Similarly, there is an ion dipole interaction between the negatively charged chloride ions and the positively charged hydrogen ends of the water molecule. As a result, these ions are surrounded by the water molecule and they get dissolved in the water. Now, this brings us to a question. Sugar is non-polar in nature, while water is a polar solvent. How come then sugar dissolves readily in water? Well, in this case, there exists a special type of interactive force which is known as hydrogen bonding. So, there exists an intermolecular hydrogen bonding between the sugar molecule and the water molecule, as a result of which the sugar dissolves readily in water, although sugar is non-polar while water is polar in nature. This brings us to the next factor that affects solubility, which is temperature. This can be explained on the basis of first enthalpy of the solution. Now enthalpy is nothing but the amount of heat absorbed or released during the solution. Now based on this you can classify the process as endothermic or exothermic in nature. So if the dissolution process means when I dissolve the solute in a solvent, if it absorbs heat, it is said to be an endothermic process, and if the process of dissolution results in evolution of heat or release of heat, it is said to be exothermic in nature. It also is controlled by the Le Chatelier's principle. Now you are already aware what is the Le Chatelier's principle. This principle states that whenever a stress is applied to any process, the process will adjust itself in such a manner that the stress is minimized or reduced. So based on these two factors, we come to the conclusion that an endothermic process should be favored by an increase in temperature, while an exothermic process should be favored by a decrease in temperature. But when we study the dissolution of a solid solute in liquid solvent, it is generally noticed that an increase in temperature favors the increase in the solubility of the solid solute in the liquid solvent, irrespective of whether the process is endothermic or exothermic in nature. So whatever the solute may be, whether it is sodium chloride or potassium chloride or ammonium nitrate, irrespective of whether the dissolution of these solutes in water as a solvent, whether it is exothermic or endothermic, it is generally observed that there is a direct relation between the temperature and solubility. When the temperature is increased, the solubility of the solid solute also increases. Now what happens in the case of a gas in liquid type of solution? What is the effect of temperature on the solubility of a gas when it is tried to dissolve in a liquid solution? Here it is seen that there is an inverse relation. That is, as the temperature increases, the solubility of the gas in the liquid solvent decreases. So you can see here in this representation, as the temperature increases, the solvent molecules escape into the gaseous state. That means the solubility has decreased. And when the temperature decreases, the gas molecules once again enter into the liquid solvent. A simple example of this, when you keep the water on the gas for boiling, you must have observed that as the temperature of the water goes on increasing, you see bubbles appearing on the surface and disappearing into the atmosphere. So what are these bubbles that appear as the water's temperature goes on increasing? These are nothing but the dissolved gases present in the water that escape into the atmosphere, because as the temperature increases, the solubility of these dissolved gases in the water is decreasing. And that is the reason why when you drink boiled water, you find there is a difference in taste. This difference in taste indicates that there is a difference in the solubility of the gases which were present in the normal water and now in the boiled water. So this should help you remember that there is an inverse relation between the temperature and solubility in case of a gas in liquid type of solution. Oh, that reminds me. The cool drink that I had set out on my table has lost all its fizz. No wonder, in all this time it was at room temperature. The temperature has increased of the cool drink, and hence all the carbon dioxide, the fizz that was there in my cool drink has disappeared. Okay, I'll just go and get myself another glass. Meanwhile, you just ponder over this question. Now, carbon dioxide is said to be only sparingly soluble in water. Then how come the carbonated drinks or the cool drinks are so fizzy? Just give it a thought. Yes, this can be explained on the basis of the third factor that affects solubility, which is pressure. The carbonated drinks generally contain carbon dioxide gas in the dissolved state. Now, as we know, carbon dioxide is sparingly soluble in water. But how come the soft drinks have so much of carbon dioxide in them? The reason is because it has been made to dissolve in that drink under tremendous pressure. The moment you release the cap of the cool drink bottle, you see that the carbon dioxide gas just oozes out, or it just gushes out, right? So this indicates that when the pressure is increased, more amount of carbon dioxide dissolves into the drink, and when the pressure is released, the carbon dioxide gas that was dissolved has now escaped, indicating that there is a direct relation between pressure and solubility of a gas in a liquid. This is stated as Henry's law. Henry stated that the solubility of a gas in a liquid is directly proportional to the pressure of that gas above the solution. So we have the equation Sg is equal to K into Pg, where Sg represents the solubility of the gas in the solution, K represents the Henry's constant, and Pg is nothing but the pressure of the gas above the solution. So as you can see in the diagrammatic representation, as the pressure is doubled, the solubility of the gas also doubles. That is, there is a direct relationship between the solubility of a gas in a liquid solution with the pressure of the gas above the solution. And this statement is known as Henry's law. Now, from this mathematical expression of Henry's law, we can also define what is Henry's constant. That is, what is K. Now, in this equation, if you substitute pressure as 1 bar, 1 unit of pressure, let us assume, that is 1 bar, then our S becomes equal to K. So, I can now define Henry's constant as K is equal to S, or Henry's constant is the amount of solubility in moles per liter of a gas in a liquid solvent when the pressure of the gas above the solution is equal to 1 bar. So S equals K, or K is equal to S when P is equal to 1 bar. This is the statement of Henry's law, Henry's constant, I'm sorry. Okay. So now that means for a gas in liquid type of solution, the solubility of the gas in a liquid is directly proportional to the pressure of the gas above the solution, as per the statement of Henry's law. Now, what happens to the solubility of a solid solute in a liquid solvent? What is the effect of pressure on its solubility? Well, students, here you will be surprised that there is no effect of pressure on solubility of solid in liquid solutions. The reason, solids are incompressible, and hence there is no effect of pressure on the solubility of a solid solute in a liquid solution. So to summarize, we understood today that there are three main factors affecting the solubility. The nature of solute and solvent, where we understood that like substances dissolve the like substances, that is, polar solutes dissolve readily in polar solvents, non-polar solutes dissolve readily in non-polar solvents. Then we saw the effect of temperature, where we understood that for a solid solute in a liquid solvent, with increase in temperature, the solubility of the solid solute also increases, whereas for a gas in liquid type of solution, with increase in temperature, the solubility of the gas decreases. Third, we saw the effect of pressure on the solubility, and we understood that for a solid solute in liquid solvent, there is no effect of pressure on the solubility because solids are incompressible, whereas the effect of pressure over a gas in liquid type of solution is a direct relationship given to us by Henry's law. That is, S is directly proportional to P. With this, we come to an end of today's session. Thank you. See you in my next session.